Hello YouTube, this is Patriotic Pit Biker and something moto, and I noticed that I got like 160 views on my last video with the ring replacement, and I felt bad because that was probably the least informative video. So we're gonna redo it, and this time I'm gonna crop something moto out and actually make a formal video. I think he got a whole bunch of new stuff. Where'd it go? Something moto.
Bunch of new stuff.
I'll let him tell you what it is. Go ahead.
First off, we got a really knockoff Mikuni car, but it'll have the same basic principle. It's called a Jing Wing. Or a Jing Wing.
Jing Wei.
Jing Wei.
How much was it compared to the Mikunis?
$14.98.
This okay.
But it'll do the same job. I got a piston head, a nice new fancy piston head.
Small, but that doesn't matter.
New rings, new C-clips, and a new rod, and new gaskets to top it all off.
Tool courtesy of Patriotic Pit Biker.
And his tool to take the thing off, or whatever they're called. But,
you mentioned the gaskets?
Yeah, so we got some new gaskets, all direct from China. But we're going to go ahead and rebuild the old pit because riding a 400 through small woods isn't as fun as riding a 110 through tiny woods.
So tell us about your bike first. And guys, I'll put a little box letting you know when to go to the actual build. But hopefully you want to stay and listen to us talk about our new bikes, our new used bikes, but new to us.
They're new to us. I have a 1998 YZF 400. Pretty much everything's been gone through and or changed. Full pro circuit exhaust, new radiators, new front forks, new rear shock, a dozen other things, new air box, new carb. Basically the only things that are stock on it is the block and the frame. That's really about it. Everything else has been gone through and rechanged. Pro Taper fat bars up top with Pro Taper triple trees. And we're about to change off all the grips and the clutch lever and brake lever and make my bike a little bit fancier, but it's fine for how it is.
Alright, and next will be mine. You guys saw through my drone video what this looked like when I bought it, but I got a very good deal on it. It's a 2004 TTR 225, and right now I have replaced the seat cover, which looks better than the duct tape one that was on there. It's E-start, which I like but don't like. I like having the E-start, but I do not like not being able to kick it over, because if something goes wrong electrically, I basically have a couple 100-pound brick. I really need some side covers because you can see all that wiring hanging out is pretty ugly. It's got some rust on the swing arm, a little bit of rust on the frame, and it's got front disc brakes. It's got that nice little disc cover that I like, I guess to stop dirt from getting in it. I repainted the fenders from the stock ones because it was really faded when I got them. There was a nasty headlight on there too that I took off. I'll fill up those holes one day. I got the paint from auto parts store. I brought this little metal piece and they were able to match it relatively close, but not exactly because it's a candy color or something, but good enough for me. It looks better than it did. Okay, now what's the first thing you're gonna do to the pit bike? I notice you already have the carb partially, well, the air filter off.
We're going to first start off with draining the oil, then we're going to go to taking off the covers and the exhaust, then we'll unplug the spark plug, undo all the wiring, we'll drop the entire block off of the bike, then we'll go ahead and deassemble it from top end down, and then rebuild the entire top end, and then we'll set the new carb once we get it put on. As you can tell, there is absolutely no compression on this motor whatsoever. It is completely trashed. Blew it up in the last video and continued to ride it in the last video you all saw, which was...
Actually, I don't think they saw it because you were way...
Oh yeah, you didn't see me. Alex was riding in the...
That was really more... I think I was more or less solo riding in the same
We got
area.
separated. All right, we'll start with draining the old oil. We'll take off the cap for the oil right here. Reason being, you take off the top cap, so when you open up the bottom, what the?
Haha, yours is gray too.
That's what happens.
Join the club.
When you blow up your motor and continue to ride it, that's what you get. And if anybody doesn't know, I like to put mine right here because it fits and it's out of the way and I'll remember it. And what the? That looks like milk. Look at this. Bring in the camera. Look at that. That looks like milk.
Pit bike problems. At least an oil change.
Ew, it's breathing.
Well, probably doesn't help that you fill it almost all the way up.
Actually, I didn't last time.
Yeah.
I rebuilt it the last time I didn't.
Wait, so tell them again. Why did you take the oil cap off when?
Well, we take the oil cap off. It'll allow air to go in the top, and it'll allow the oil to drain faster out of the bottom and take less time. And that will be a lot helpful when it comes to saving time. And you just break it.
Time is money.
Time is money. What the? That is actually straight up water.
Water. What are you talking?
Oh, there's the. Oh God. There's the rings right there. That. Ew.
Dude, is that water?
It looks like water and metal shavings.
Oh my gosh.
That is metal shavings.
I don't know what that is, but it's nasty. It's okay. It's chunky.
That's metal shavings.
Yeah, he's
I've blown up
got
this
some
engine
problems.
pretty well this time.
Okay, so the oil is draining, and what will we be doing next?
As soon as this oil gets done draining, we will go ahead and more than likely pull off the exhaust and pull off the carburetor and go ahead and try to drop the motor off. And that oil looks like it's almost done. It looks like vomit.
So show us which bolts you're going to take to get the motor off.
There's two main bolts, one on the top carriage and one on the side, right here on the back. We're going to unbolt those, and they're about roughly around 5 inches long a piece. We'll pull them out, and then the entire motor will drop down. And then we can get it to come off. We're going to go ahead and pull off the carburetor intake right here. Go ahead and drop it off. We'll loosen all 4 of them before we actually pull them off, because we'll actually reuse this intake, the 90 degree we'll reuse and put it on my new carburetor, which will act a little bit nicer to this bike, and I can tune it for different areas and whatnot. Break all those loose.
And what size did you say this one right here was?
That's going to be a 12 millimeter. You can use a wrench on one side and a socket on the other, and you'll be good.
And next will be the spark plug and exhaust, right?
Yep.
And that's when I'll put a link, guys, for when we actually start digging into the motor. Carburetor is completely off now. Well, it's hanging there. He's just hanging out. But
now that we have this off, which is your 90 degree bracket, we're going to go ahead and scrape off the old gasket with the air tool, but that'll be next video, or we'll just scrape it off with a razor blade and get it all off, because it's just a rubberized coating, and some of the plastic or some of the old paper gasket material. It's like a rubberized paper almost. It'll just scrape right off when we hit it with a razor blade, but we might take the air tool to it to clean it up just a little bit more. But now that we got the carb off, we're going to go ahead and take the bolts, and we'll stick them back on just enough so we know where they go.
Guys, make sure you keep a count of your bolts. Can't really stress that enough, because anything involving the motor, you need all these bolts. That's very important. This is looking at to be maybe at least a 2-part video, probably a 3-part video. Alright guys, the carburetor is off, and now we will be taking the exhaust off. Go ahead, something moto.
We're going to come back here to the back of the hole, you know what I'm saying?
It's pretty much those 2 bolts right there. I mean,
and
it's,
this one in the back.
oh, yeah. And there's one there. Here, let me try and get it in the shot for you guys.
Yeah, I want to see this pipe.
Use the light from the... Oh, I can't see that. Here, let me get a flashlight for you guys. Excuse me. Excuse me.
But
I'm trying to work here. See, there's a bolt there.
get the.
Some people have things to do here. Something moto. Okay, so he's basically, you can't see it. It's behind that smiley face. He's taking that bolt off right now. Again, if you like these videos, make sure you like it and subscribe so you can see all the cool stuff we'll be doing back at the dirt bike trails, which these are real trails, guys. I'll put the name in the video once we upload them. But there will be lots of cool stuff. Make sure you subscribe to keep up with that. If you like hill climbs and rock crawling and real trails and streams.